Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is Jake Sanderson, aka Snowman Cycling, and today I've got another special YouTuber challenge for you, a YouTuber battle royale, where we've got 1A, that's me, versus 3 Bs, 3 of your favourite Zwifting YouTubers, Oliver Moore, not today Pogacar, Eric Barfell, and of course Cadman Cycling. So really excited to bring this one to you. What we've done is we've selected a course. We've got Watopia Hilly Route, and we've got 1.3 laps of it, which is about 11k, and the reason we've got 1.3 lap is we do 1 lap and then we end it atop the Watopia Hilly KOM for the second time. The Bs are going to set off 1 minute before me. I'll wait in the pen for 1 minute and then I'll set off and I'll try and catch them. And the only rules are, if any one of the Bs gets to the finish line before me, they all win. Their team wins. If I get there before all of them, I win, but I have to get there before all 3 of them. Should be really interesting. I'm not sure what tactics they're going to play. Are they going to work as a TTT, try and do smooth pulls? Are they going to protect one rider for the end? Are they going to let me catch and then start attacking them? I don't know really. I'm excited to find out, so let's jump into the pen and see what happens. Now I do have one advantage that they don't have, and I don't know if they've realised yet. I'm on a TT bike. I don't need to draft anybody. If I time it right, that should help me save a few watts on them. Timer started, here we go. We'll have to see how it goes, but my main thinking really is if I can keep it steady on the flat and then try and make some time on the hills, that's probably my best bet. But we'll see. Let's go, people. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go, go, go. Got to scare him straight out of the pen, haven't I? Make him think I'm coming in real hot. Got to give him a bit of a scare, right? I'm gonna have to come in pretty hot on the hill. They're gonna have to stick together. They're gonna be at a disadvantage here. If they drop some on this hill early, advantage to me. Alright, let's try and put a dig in. Give him a scare, shall we? Oh, they're picking the pace up, gotta respond.
And really, that is the best thing that the B group can do, is to keep the pace really, really high on this climb, because the only 2 places I can make much ground on them are going to be these 2 climbs. So if they keep that pace really, really high, it stops me eating into them. It means I'm going to have to go even harder than they are to try and eat into that deficit. Really not easy, so they did a great job of pushing it up this climb. I thought at the time that they would probably be at a disadvantage because they would have to go at the pace of the slowest rider, but they all pushed really, really hard, stayed really, really compact, as you can see from the board on the right hand side. And as we go over the top, that gap is about 45 seconds. So I've eaten into a little bit of that deficit, probably not, if I'm honest, as much as I was hoping that I would, considering that almost certainly they're going to pull out a bit more of an advantage of a gap on this descent as a 3-man group where they can enjoy that draft benefit together, whereas I am just a solo lightweight rider who's going to hemorrhage quite a bit of time there. But they still have to keep those turns rolling smoothly to make the most of that advantage, and they do that with Oliver Moore, not today Pogacar, taking quite a lot of those turns. I think he knows if he keeps that pace 4 watts per kilo or higher, I have to do even more than 4 watts per kilo to try and eat into them at all. And I think at this point he may have an inkling that their plan is going well and mine isn't.
I am. They're going hard. Can they keep it going?
And at this point, for the first 6 minutes or so, my average power is about 4.5 watts per kilo, just a little bit over that. So we are going pretty hard. I am having to go quite deep to try and gain on these guys. And as we said before, my plan at this point is to just try and keep them as steady as I can on the flat and not lose too much time to them there or on the descents, and push on each and every rise. So as we get to this little incline here, I'm out of the saddle, I'm trying to smash it, trying to keep it above 6 watts per kilo if I can, and just keep the pressure on them in the same way that they're trying to keep the pressure on me. I know they're keeping an eye on my numbers. I know they're looking at the power I'm doing. So we've got to try and keep it high on those really crucial points, which is what we do, and then get a little bit of recovery on those descent bits. So at this point, I know my average power for the overall ride is not going to be as high as it would be if I was just keeping a high, steady average power. And at this point, at the halfway mark, I must admit, when I could see that the gap was at 45 seconds, I was starting to worry, because that is way higher than it should have been. I think realistically, I'm going to need that gap to be under 30 seconds at the base of that second climb. So whilst I'm trying to keep it as steady as I can and not let them gain any time, it's now creeping into my mind that I'm going to have to find somewhere else to try and pull out some time on these guys if I want a chance at the win. So this is the point where I decide I'm going to have to push again on this little incline. Those of you that have seen my pre-planned race attack video will know I love this little incline. I have really fond memories of it, so I try to drill it as hard as I can, coming over the top of here, and see if we can bring that gap down any more as we hit into the little rollers in the S's, where realistically it's probably going to suit the group of 3 much more than it's going to suit me. And I must admit that that group is working so well together. They're going so much harder than I gave them credit for. They're a well-oiled machine, and each one of them is pushing themselves to their absolute max to try and get the most out of it. I really do want to give a shout out here, especially to Cadman Cycling, who's generally a C rider in Zwift Power, was doing some fantastic numbers, and clever enough to realise that if he empties the tank for his team now and does work on the front, he doesn't need to be the first rider to the top of that climb. They just need one to beat me. So if I was them, I'd be making sure that 1 or 2 of the riders in that group were doing more work than the third rider, and that third rider could try and save himself for a real big push at the base of the climb. That's probably the best way for them to keep me at bay, keep that time gap out, and give themselves the best chance at the win. And it looks like that's exactly what they're doing here. Whilst they're all going hard, I can see Cadman and Eric are taking a few of the pulls, and Oliver is sat there at the back getting a little bit of recovery after his pulls earlier on. Now I am starting at this point to realise I am quite literally running out of road, and that gap is still about 30 seconds. So I'm going to have to give it everything I can, one big Herculean push on this KOM to try and close that gap. As Cadman shouts on the race radio there, you can see that he's done. A fantastic effort from him, which really contributed to his team having that lead at that point. So really strong performance from him. Eric Barfelt still a little bit further up the road with Oliver, and at this point I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be tough. It's going to be really difficult to try and catch these guys, but you absolutely know that I am not going to let them have it, and I am going to go up here with everything I've got and try and catch as many of them as I can, hopefully all of them, by the time we get to that finish line at the top of this KOM. And I'm going to use these riders ahead of me as the carrots to try and give me incentive. If I look up the road to Oliver, it looks a bit far, but I can see Cadman is only a few seconds, so he's going to be my first carrot as I try and work my way up to him. But like I said before, fantastic performance from him. He really understood the concept of this race and used his power to help his team get into the perfect position at the base of this climb. So his work is done, and I'm going to try and come past him, but of course I'm going to try and put in a bit of a surge. I'm going to make sure he doesn't try and get onto my wheel. Not going to give him any hope. You know what we're like. We can't be nice to people. We're going to have to just put the hammer down a little bit, turn the screw, twist the knife, seeing as they've already got me on the ropes here and I'm suffering. It's only fair that I give a little bit of pain back. So Cadman, sorry about that, mate. It wasn't personal. Really good performance. And I can see Eric is now dropped. He is up the road. He's given everything he can, and his power is starting to drop off. He has contributed massively to his team's performance as well, and he is now the second rider just up that road that I'm going to use to try and bridge across to as a carrot. And I'm going to put in a bit more of a surge as I come past him, make sure he doesn't get on my wheel either. But I think Oliver Moore, 13 seconds up ahead, is just too strong today. His power isn't waning. I was really hoping that he would drop off a little bit, that maybe they went too hard at the base of this climb, but they didn't. They timed it to perfection, and those guys really, absolutely nailed me today. I had literally nothing left in the tank. I used every last watt that I had, and it just wasn't enough. Their strength And teamwork and numbers and tactical prowess really put me to the sword, so a fantastically well earned win for the B squad. Not today Pogacar, Oliver Moore crossing the line to take the glory, do the celebration, but realistically he couldn't have done it without Eric Barfel and Cadman Cycling delivering him to the base of that climb.
There you have it guys, really good fun. I ran out of gas a little bit at the end, they were too strong for me. Great teamwork from the Bs, I have to say. They worked really well together, really smooth, pulled turns really well. And in the end, I caught Eric, I caught Cadman, but that's not the aim of the game because Olly got away. They played their cards to perfection. You want to burn 2 riders if it means the last one getting away. They did that perfectly. Too strong for me today, I couldn't counter that. Average power was okay, not amazing, because those surges, I was trying to keep it above 6 on the inclines, and that really took it out of me towards the end. I needed just a few more watts to push to catch Olly, I just didn't have them. I think the TT bike was a good move, maybe cost me a little bit of time on the climb, but I think it was worth it because there was a solo lightweight rider on the descents and I lost so much more. That was really good fun. Next time, if we do it again, I'm going to need reinforcements, I'm going to need to bring in some help. Maybe I need somebody, do you know anybody that doesn't get dropped cycling? Maybe they could help me out. Or if you know anybody, or if you are somebody that wants to help in the comments, let us know. If you enjoyed this sort of content, these sorts of challenges, it's a bit different, some crossover content with some of your favourite YouTubers. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more of this. Big thanks to Oliver Moore, Not Today Pogacar, Eric Barfel and Cadman Cycling putting this one together. Really good fun. Awesome to have you guys jump on board with this. Looking forward to doing the next one. So thanks for watching guys. Remember, race fast, ride hard, and that you are appreciated.